If I see what? Oh, okay. Ignore it. Okay. Ani, bonsoir. Oh, are we on? Oh, sorry. Ani, bonsoir, and good evening, and welcome to our regular December council meeting. I'd like to welcome everybody. As we normally do, and to let the two new councillors know, usually the first meeting of the month, the deputy mayor will chair it, and it gives me a chance to be a little bit more active during the meeting, and good training for the deputy mayor. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor Pajot. Good evening. I'll start with the land acknowledgement. I would like to begin the meeting by acknowledging that we are in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe peoples in the Robinson Huron Treaty area and wish to recognize the neighboring community of Doki's First Nation. While we meet today, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. So we will start with the adoption of the agenda, and I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Dave and Councillor Will. Good. Okay, number 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none. Number 5, delegations, we have none. Number 6, we have the consent agenda for the appointments to boards and committees for the new term of council. We have all the committees here, and we're just going to have one resolution for this. There's 14 different committees, and we've all been appointed. So I need a mover and a seconder, Councillor Baum and Councillor Will. So does anybody have any questions for Mel, or is everybody okay with the appointed committees? We're all good. Do you have a resolution, Mel, to read?
Yes, it is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council approves the appointments to boards and committees in the consent agenda under section 0.6. So this approves all the appointments to the boards and committees in one collective resolution.
Is everybody okay? Are we all in favor? Okay, all in favor. We'll continue on to section 7, which is reports and items for consideration. 7.1, general government. 7.1.1, we have the clerk report.
Thank you. I'm just organizing all these resolutions. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. My report is included in the agenda. So it is customary at the beginning of each new term of council that we provide an overview of our governance. So the way that the municipality does business, and to discuss or review any changes. So in the report, I highlight the procedure bylaw, our policies, bylaws and resolutions, and our meeting structure. At this time, through discussions or through internal discussions also, we don't have any suggestions to changes to our schedule of meetings or to committees or anything else. The only changes that are going to come up is at the next meeting scheduled January 18th, I will bring a report to council with suggestions or recommendations to changes to our procedure bylaw. Through the pandemic, there has been many changes around electronic meeting and meetings and participation, hybrid meetings, live streaming. So there are many things that we need to reflect in our bylaw to encompass those new ways of having our meetings. Few housekeeping items, but nothing major. Other than that, that's it for my report. If there's any questions.
Okay, Counselor Dean.
The appointment of Bob Prevost to Nipissing Advisory Council, Layton, is this going to take your place, Mark? Is that the
No.
idea? Is
No,
that the
no, that's
water
completely-
level deal?
No,
Oh, okay,
no, you're still on the water deal.
Okay.
With Mark.
okay.
No, this is something Ron Garbett was on, it was fisheries.
Oh, yes, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
So did we. And so they reached out to us a few weeks ago, I guess,
Yeah,
and asked to have somebody appointed to it.
okay.
Okay, but
Thank
nothing
you.
to do with the water levels.
Thank you. Just for curiosity.
So if nobody has any, does anybody have any questions for Mel? For the clerk? No? Seeing none,
Thank you.
we'll continue on to 7.1.2. We have a resolution to approve attendance of council at conferences being held in 2023. There's a list of conferences and I believe Melanie will go through them to see which ones you would like to attend. We normally try to do 2 each and that way it kind of, we get to do them all that way. We attend all the 5 conferences throughout the year. If 2 per thing. So go ahead, Mel.
Thank you. So in the council agenda package, we have provided you with a brief overview of every association and the conference. So the dates, the venue, the price per attendee. So if there's any interest, so what we do is that because most of the conferences have like an early bird registration opportunity. And just to take advantage of the price reduction and the availability of the hotel rooms, we always like to book in advance. And it allows us to budget appropriately for the year. If we know council's interest at the beginning of the year. So if there's any interest, what I've done is I prepared one resolution that has all the conferences and we can add whoever's name to each conference that you're interested in attending.
Okay, so did you want to go through the list and like
Yeah,
just say the
sure.
conference
Yeah,
and
okay.
whoever wants to attend them
Yeah,
can,
for sure.
is that easier that way?
Yes, thank you. So the first one on the list is Roma Conference, which is being held January 22nd and 24th. I believe we have Dave and Roger listed. We
Is
have
that right?
already?
Dave and Roger. Is anybody else interested in that one or we're good? Okay,
The next one is the Ogre Conference, which is being held in April in Toronto.
that's good roads. Counselor Bob,
Anyone?
okay, well, you want to do that one, Dave? Counselor Dave,
Okay, so we have Bob and Dave for FUNUM Conference, May 10th in Perry Sound. So I think you were mentioning a while ago, Denny, that it's a one-day
What?
event.
no,
it's
it'll
not?
be from the 8th to the 10th.
What do we have? Okay, so it's May 8th to the 10th. Okay, thank you.
I'll do that one.
Okay,
I'll do that one as well.
so are you committing to this one or it's just interest?
Interest,
Interest, okay.
we'll commit in January.
Okay, that's fine. The next one is AMO, which is being held in City of London from August 21st to the 23rd.
I could do that one.
That's
Amy.
the Association of municipalities. And so it's the larger one where all the municipalities in Ontario gather. We usually have a number of delegations we request to meet with ministers or staff ministers, and it's larger. It's much larger. I like that one, so put me down for that one. Because it's all the province. Now it gets a little frustrating because they have seminars, or what do they call them? Anyway, sessions for what they call small rural committee communities, municipalities. But their definition of small is 25,000 or 50,000 and under. So we sort of get lost in there. So we keep bringing it back to them saying, no, that doesn't work. That's why I like FNUM, because they understand the word small, right? But it's interesting. And again, we do ask for a lot of delegations to go, so. And it's a good one to go.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have Giselle and Denis.
More of you can go if you're interested. And if you're not sure, you can put your name down and then take it off later. It's just. It's normally in Ottawa. But, yeah,
Yep.
I know. I don't want to go
It's
to
a bit
London.
further.
Yeah, it's further.
Mhm.
Oh, I wouldn't mind.
So the last one, are we okay for AMO? So the last one on the list is AFMO, which the date and location is to be determined. Usually it's in September. October, okay.
Yeah, late September, early October.
So September, October. Do we have an idea of where it could be?
We had our AGM yesterday.
No, okay.
We're gonna have our,
You on your mic.
we should have an executive meeting in the next couple of weeks. Oh, for those who don't know, I'm on the executive committee of AFMO. I'm the treasurer of the organization. So we should know by January or so what the dates are going to be for the conference.
And just maybe to mention, that one is French. So, yeah, it's all held in French. So it's for French municipalities, basically, those that offer services in French. So it's more geared to that. You could tentatively put my name for that one, and we'll see with go from there.
Going back to where we had talked earlier about the roads, which one is that?
Ogra. So Ogra is being held in April in Toronto.
Okay, then,
Oh, Mayor Pejos.
So, Roger, we normally only do 2 per counselor. Okay, so pick one that if roads is what you're interested in, I think you'd probably get more out of the roads than a general one. Yeah, Bob?
If I may, Madam Mayor, would it be possible that we bring this back up in January, possibly our second meeting? And that we can fine tune? I know we
Mhm.
showed interest in some of them.
Sure.
Maybe before we check our schedules, it's gonna conflict and
Yeah.
and
Rome,
then we
Roma's
can
in
confirm
January,
more.
so Roma is definitely January, so
Yeah,
but we've already got
So
2
the
committed.
Roma one, yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any reason why we can't bring him back.
thank you.
We can approve what we have now, because with AFMO, I mean, we'll see. And just to let you know, Dean doesn't go to any of them anymore. Though we encourage him to do, but he doesn't, so.
You want me to get it? Can I get a mover and a seconder? Okay, so,
No, that's fine. I just want to clarify then for council that if we table it and bring it back in January, just to give staff the permission to register the 2 people who they're already registered, but just so you understand.
yeah,
For Roma, yes.
so So we're good with this? No, we'll just keep going then.
Yep.
We'll bring it back at our next meeting.
Yes.
And from there, we'll have a better idea of everybody's schedule and we'll look at it then. Okay, so we'll continue on to 7.2 finances. 7.2.1, we have a presentation of the 2023 budget schedule. And I believe Mark Fleury is on and he will speak to this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You hear me well?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. So essentially, this is the budget process and meeting schedule for budget 2023. Essentially, it's the same, similar dates as last year. The goal is to have the adoption of the 2023 budget at the council meeting of March 15th. So just for the benefit of council and new members and the public, just to go down the list here, we already had two formal staff meetings in November, one in November 17th, the other one in December 1st. That's besides the work that's being done in the background to prepare for January. January 19th at 7 p.m. is a special council meeting. That's to present the this initial meeting or kickoff meeting to get budget planning and direction from council. Also review council priorities per year, and also see the risks and what's and the opportunities for that the municipality has for next year and the years going forward for budgeting. We will continue working during January on the budget. On February 8th, there's a special council meeting. This is very detailed, it's a working group or working meeting. There's going to be presentation and deliberation of the first draft budget. There's going to be departmental operations presentations by the managers and the CEO. And also there's going to be capital budget presentation. So essentially it's going to be a line by line exercise going through the entire budget. And then so that way we have a clear understanding of what the budget entails and the specific details. There's going to be a council meeting on February 15th, presentation deliberation of the draft budget, if necessary again. And again, in the background, we're working on the budget. On March 1st, there's going to be another council meeting. It's going to be a public budget presentation of the draft final budget, and also council's final budget deliberation. And on March 15th would be another council meeting for the adoption of the 2023 municipal budget, operating budget and capital budget.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Mark? Mayor Peugeot?
On the one Thursday, January 19th, it says 7 p.m., but we normally have our meetings at 6. Is there a reason why it's at 7?
No.
Can we have it at 6?
Yes.
Unless it's not good for,
It's
You?
probably a typo.
it's not good for you?
Yeah, there's a
Oh.
reason.
I work till
Okay.
6 on Thursdays.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay, but keep it
I
at 7.
mean, I can see what I can do and get out early.
No. Well, I didn't know that. I just thought maybe it was a typo. So
No,
no, we'll do it at 7.
okay,
You'll be asked to take time off on other stuff. So skip this one.
okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Mark? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Mark. Do we have a resolution? We need no? Okay. Do you have the finance report? Reserve
Thank you.
transactions? Mark?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is an annual report done annually at the end of the year, the last council meeting of the year. We at the beginning of the year and mid-year, we get when we adopt the budget, mainly the capital budget. We have specific items that we want to tackle in the year, and for various reasons, when we get to the end of the year. Sometimes the projects have been delayed. Sometimes it's the delivery is later, or anyways, there's some unforeseen events that happen that delays, and we present to council the unfinished projects and to put back in the reserve, and they're going to be part of the capital or the 2023 operating and capital budget exercise. So this is a list of the projects that we had approved this year that have not been finalized, or we don't expect to be finalized by December 31st for various reasons. There was an addition to the list. There's a signage for St. Charles and Monetteville, and also the Highway 69 welcome sign project. Finally, we could not, or the contractors could not pour the concrete in time, so it will have to be delayed till spring, when the weather permits finalizing of the structures and for the structural integrity of the structure. So these will be deferred to next year, and it's a total amount of $72,000.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Councillor Dean?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mark, when we say funding sources, reserves, is all this money now actually money that was appropriated in 23 and is in reserves that we are going to be using?
It's these projects were being have been approved in 2022 budget, and they were financed by reserves or donations as noted. Most of the projects were funded, or they were being funded by reserves. Because the projects have not been finalized, the reserves have been kept. We kept the reserves in the bank, so that's why they're going back into reserves for year-end purposes, for financial statement purposes, and then we're resubmitting for next year's budget. And a funding source will be the same. It's the reserves or donations, as the case may be.
So we're not going to be raising money for any of these expenditures out of this year's 23 taxes. And
no, not at all. They are reserves that are already on the books.
all right, thank you.
Okay, Mayor Pajot, followed by Councillor Bob.
There's also, I just want to note it that at the beach, the swing project was delayed, and again, because of the inability to get an engineer to do that big swing. So now that that's been confirmed, so that's going, and that's funded through donations from the Canada Foundation. So that's separate than these projects here, and it's also ongoing, correct?
Exactly. These projects are mostly capital in nature,
Right.
and they're funded through reserves. For the projects at the beach, they're funded through donations by Canada Foundation and also by the Parkland Reserve Fund.
Yeah.
So they're not financed by reserves, so they don't form part of this report.
Yeah, the Canada Foundation has been extremely generous, and once again, their generosity continues as they're going to be sending us a check for $12,000 for more improvements to the beach, and another $3,000 for the food bank. So we're truly grateful to the Canada Foundation. They're amazing.
Okay, Councillor Bob.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just missed something, Mark. You talked at the end also for the signage, that the signage on Highway 64 and Monetteville, no, that would be 64, 535. And you mentioned the third one.
It was a Highway 69 sign.
Okay, I didn't hear properly.
Yes.
Okay.
That we just got it was part of the council meeting, I believe in October, November.
Okay, thank you. It's just I didn't hear it.
Oh, not a problem.
Okay, so now I need a mover and a seconder. So because we have a resolution to authorize the transfer. So Councillor Dave and Councillor Roger.
It is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council agrees that the 2022 unfinished projects as listed below be deferred to 2023, and that council authorizes that the funds allocated to these projects be transferred into reserves before the 2022 year end as follows. So the list is included in the report in addition to the item that the treasurer mentioned for the signs.
All in favor? Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
7.3, Public Works and Environmental Services. 7.3.1, the Environmental Advisory Committee. I believe is Giselle speaking to that?
Is that the motion we're talking about?
Yeah, we have a notice to motion.
Okay. So before you, there's quite a lengthy motion with regards to dealing with our waste management. After having some discussions with Councillor Bob, who's the chair of the Environmental Committee, and Councillor Dean, where the Environmental Committee wanted to direct council to get going on looking at other options because things aren't going as well as we thought or hoped at the waste management site. So before you is a lot of details on a report that we're asking staff to do some research. Some of it I know has already been done so that we can implement, first of all, the recycling throughout the municipality by May, I think, June of 2023, so that service will be offered to all of members of our municipality. And then we're asking staff to look into curbside pickup for waste management and to look at the cost of doing that, but also to look at the cost of continuing the bins, but on a reduced basis, so that we have an idea of what the difference in price will be. As well, it has to be included that there is public consultation and not just sending a letter saying, this is what's happening, let me know what you think, but actual physical public consultation. And there will be two, one in June or July, and the other one in August. And so this will accommodate our seasonal people so that no one can say they didn't know that something big was happening. And so this will probably be one of the biggest decisions, and talk to Councillor Dave too, because you're on the Environmental Committee as well. So this will probably be a really big decision that has to be made by this council, should not be taken lightly. And the decision should be made once we have all the information before us and that we've had a chance to consult with the public. So I thought this would be the easiest way of doing it, is through this motion.
Are you going to read the motion, Madam Mayor?
I don't, you really want me to read it
I
all?
do.
Oh, you
I
do?
think it's good because the public
Okay.
is listening in.
Oh, you're going to read it? Okay. Okay, good. Because I was going to say the printing's kind of small here too.
Okay, so I believe I need a mover and a seconder. So Councillor Dave,
So I moved
oh,
already.
Giselle moved it, and then Councillor Bob will second it. And Melanie will read it.
It is duly moved and seconded. Whereas at their meeting of September 28, 2022, the Environmental Advisory Committee recommended that council extend the curbside recycling program to all households along with modifications to transfer sites in 2023, and to direct staff to further investigate, analyze, and report on curbside garbage collection for implementation in 2024. And whereas the issue of disposing of household and recycling waste continues to be a fundamental problem in the municipality of French River. And whereas where staff, the Advisory Environmental Committee and Council has attempted to find solutions to address such issues, such as purchasing additional bins, hiring a full-time bylaw officer, and emptying the transfer site bins more often, and the implementation of 2 pilot projects. And whereas even with these solutions, the municipality continues to have difficulties at the transfer sites with ratepayers dropping off material that clearly belongs at the landfill, and the need to replace all bins and garbage trucks. And whereas the recycling contamination rate at the transfer sites ranges between 50% And the goal required by the provincial government by 2025 will be no more than 4% rate of contamination, along with turning over recycling to the producers. And whereas the cost of waste disposal has increased substantially over the last few years. And whereas council must provide the same services to both permanent and seasonal residents. And whereas an exhaustive study conducted by an experienced consulting firm provided a few interim measures to deal with our waste management issues, they firmly stated that a lasting solution would require curbside household waste pickup for all residents. Now therefore, be it resolved that council extends the curbside recycling program to all households along with the closure of recycling bins at all transfer sites by June 2023, providing that all required materials have arrived for distribution. And further that during the first 4 months of implementing curbside recycling, the municipality station an attendant at the Noelville and Albin transfer sites to educate residents on the new program. And further that prior to implementing curbside household waste pickup or any other recommendations, that council directs staff to further investigate, analyze, and report on curbside garbage collection. And further that the report will include the following information: the cost of continuing the current transfer site option for Albin and Noelville, only with modified hours similar to the Noelville site. The report will outline the cost of each bin and the number of bins required for household garbage only at each site. The cost of a truck, the cost of staffing the Noelville and Albin site during hours of operation, and any other costs such as fencing, cameras, etc. The report will include the yearly amortization. The report will also include examples of other municipalities who have the same or similar transfer sites options for their residents. Number 2, the cost of contracting out the entire transfer site system to an independent contractor for the Noelville and Albin sites only with modified hours. Minettville and Shaw Roads transfer sites would close. The cost will include opening the landfill 6 days a week. Number 3, the cost of contracting out household and recycling curbside pickups on Mondays to accommodate our seasonal residents. This will include opening the landfill site 6 days a week. Number 4, the report must also include a plan to deal with residents living on private roads. Further, that the report must be ready no later than May 1st, 2023, so that it is presented to council at its July meeting. And further, that the municipality will consult all ratepayers prior to any changes to the household garbage disposal system. This includes, but not limited to, number 1, making the full report available to the public at the same time as council. 2, making the full report available on all social media outlets. Number 3, holding 2 public meetings, one on either a Saturday or Sunday in 2023 in June, and the other in July 2023 to accommodate our municipality seasonal residents. Each ratepayer will receive by mail the dates and locations of these meetings and the links to the actual report at least 2 weeks prior to the first meeting. As well, the meetings will be posted weekly for at least 3 weeks prior to each meeting. And finally, further that after all appropriate consultations, review of the reports, modifications to the report if required, council will approve the best option that will suit our municipality, keeping in mind the costs and the needs of all our ratepayers no later than February 2024.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, we are good. 7.4, recreation and community services. 7.4.1, we have the adoption of the accessibility plan. It is in the package. I believe it's quite similar to what we've had in the past. There hasn't been many changes, Emil. So I need a mover and a seconder for this. Councillor Dean, followed by Council Bob.
It is duly moved and seconded, but resolved that council adopts the 2022 accessibility plan as dated December 7th, 2022.
Any questions or? Mayor Pajot?
Is Bob there? Hey, Bob. There he is.
Evening.
I just had a question with where it says identification of barriers. So for the municipal complex, automatic door openers for accessible washroom, we already have that, right?
No, this would be similar to what we have installed at the Albion Community Center this year with the push button on the outside to make the door open.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that button. Yep. So I guess that's the same for all of them, right? The button's all going to be the same?
Yes,
Okay, good. So I won't need to be taught how to use it again?
I hope not.
Okay. Or call somebody. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Counselor Dean?
So do we at present have an accessibility plan for this year, what we're going to do this year and how much we're going to spend? Is it? We don't have that done yet. We're just looking at the whole plan.
Some of the stuff are listed below, that we still haven't done. I believe the major thing to do now is to have the accessibility washrooms with push buttons. So we still have the arena to do, we still have the complex to do. It always depends on budget.
Okay,
So it
okay,
forms part of the budget process, Councillor.
okay, that's good.
Okay. We will find out at budget time. So all in favor? Okay, we are good. 7.5, emergency protection services, nil. 7.6, building planning and development, there is nil. I don't believe there's any correspondence. And we need a mover and a seconder for the consent agenda to adopt the items in there. Counselor Counselor Dave. And a seconder, Counselor Roger.
It is duly moved and seconded, but resolved that council approves the items of the consent agenda under section 9.1 and receives the items under section 9.2 and 9.3.
How about 9.4? What a 9.4?
There's nothing under 9.4. Yeah.
Oh, just a name.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? We're good. Number 10, items from the separate from consent agenda, there is none. There is no notice of motion. Community announcements and inquiries. I guess we'll start with Counselor Roger. No, nothing. Okay, Counselor Bob.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I missed a little point there under 9 point something. I would just like to thank our treasurer, Mac Fleury, for the list of disbursements he sends us every month. I mean, my questions are always answered in a very timely manner, very precise and everything. Merci, Mac. Also, I just wanted to acknowledge and say thank you to you, Madam Chair, for the work you did for the holiday train, and to the people helping you, Jason, Denis Prévost and his team that picked up everything. It was, I thought it was very well organized to be on the side of the road, and thank you. Don't forget December 17th, we have our Christmas drive-through, our Christmas party for the kids at the arena. We always need help, moral support, and smiles. And if I guess this is our last public meeting before the holidays, I'd just like to take the opportunity of wishing everyone a joyeux Noël and all the best to all of you for the holidays, and may Santa be very good to you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Counselor Willie? None? Mayor Pajot?
Just want to remind everyone, December 14th is Volunteer Appreciation Night. So hope to see all of council there to celebrate our volunteers. Our MPP will be there, Frau Gilina. Will be attending, which I think is very nice. Also, reminder that the Noelville seniors are having their Christmas luncheon on the 14th as well. So they're looking for, we have a tradition where we council and staff, we get together and we help dish out the food to the seniors and do the cleanup after. And they're using now paper plates, so there's a lot less dishes to do, let me tell you. So just to say that. For the December 17th, the Lions will be sending volunteers to help out, as well as I was speaking with Chris from the horticultural committee, and they'll be sending some volunteers there to help us clean up after the kids. So hope to see every one of you there. And yes, the holiday train was amazing. And thank you to and Denis and Jason and everybody else that worked hard. We received for the baskets, another 2,000 for the basket and 2,000 for the food bank. So every little bit of monies really goes a long, long way. So it was much appreciated. And I too wish everybody a very happy holiday. Thank you.
Counselor Dean.
The 14th is Volunteer Appreciation Night.
Yes,
And where is it being held?
ACC. It's at the Alvin Community Center.
I don't have anything on
Yeah,
that at all. I didn't realize that.
Didn't
So
anything go out for the council? Yes. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it must have
so what time? 7 o'clock or
6.
6 o'clock?
Yeah. at
That's the
ACC.
same night then as the seniors lunch is at noon.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
volunteer appreciation in
know.
the evening.
yeah. Put your running shoes on.
Okay, and what that was.
For the luncheon, if you're there around 11:30, we're usually done by 1:45, 1 o'clock
Yeah.
or shortly thereafter.
But I know what I wanted to ask. And I'm not suggesting it's necessary, or anything, but in the past, before the pandemic, we used to have a Christmas dinner with council and council families and so forth. Are we anticipating anything like that? Not this year anyway, huh?
No, this decision was made because of the pandemic and the ongoing issues with health at this point in time to forego it again this year.
Okay,
We'll revisit it for next year.
okay. Oh, that's one dress up night we won't have. Anyway, thank you. That's my.
Counselor Dave? No, you're good. Okay, I guess I will go. The holiday train did go well. I'm sorry about the hot chocolate. The hot cold chocolate kind of burnt. Don't know what was happening, but anyways, the church will be getting some new coffee pots. They're coming in this week. We're making a donation. So yes, I think their coffee pots are well over, I don't know, 30 years old at least, if not more. So we will take care of that. And so hopefully next year we'll have some hot chocolate and not burnt. Yeah, I've never seen such a thing. It was, but everything else went really good and the people were really understanding. So thank you to everybody for your donations and being very kind. On the good side, the kids all said they didn't have to wait to drink their hot chocolate. So that was kind of nice. It wasn't all burnt, but the one was burnt. The other one was, drinkable, but it was quite eventful anyways. So, yeah. Just to mention that on this Saturday, there's the Christmas supper at the Minettville Hall held by the people. It's at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7. And so that's open to everybody. I will be going just to show support from the community. So to represent you guys. So and to go meet a lot of them again. They are in my ward, so we also have the Rapids playing Friday and Saturday night. As Bob mentioned, we also have the parade coming up and the Christmas party at the arena for the kids afterwards. So that's coming up. And I think that's all for now. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Mel, do you have anything to say? No? Mark?
As we're getting into the Christmas holiday season, I encourage the community to go visit our website for our operational hours during the holidays. The municipal office will be closed starting December 23rd and reopening January 3rd. And then there's hours of operations and closures at the landfill site as well as at the recreation center arena facilities. So just it'll all be posted.
Okay, thank you. Now I guess I need a mover and a seconder to adopt the confirmation bylaw. Counselor Dean and Counselor Willie.
It is duly moved and seconded to be resolved that bylaw 2022-54 being a bylaw to confirm the proceeding of council at the meeting held December 7th, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
All in favor? Okay, we're good. And a resolution to adjourn, Counselor Bob and Counselor Dave. And that's it. All in favor?